name's Jessica.
I'm Shannon.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Mackenzie. My head's cut off.
Today we'll be talking about aggressive behavior. So the definition of aggressive behavior is an action wanting to harm an individual, such as hitting, biting, spitting, or swearing.
Human aggression is any behavior directing towards another individual that is carried out with the immediate intent to harm.
There's two types of aggressive behavior. There's reactive, which is more verbal, and then there's proactive, which is planning something to harm someone else.
The associated health concerns are ADHD and conduct disorder.
Now, for the first activity, the age group is 2 to 3 years, so I'm going to explain the activity to you. So, for the age 2 to 3 years, due to the regulatory system not being fully developed, it's difficult for children to understand or communicate their emotions. So, for my activity, it's called Angry Puppets. So, the materials used can be yarn, markers, crayons, popsicle sticks, and cut out facial expressions or glue, or whatever is available to you. For me, I just cut out paper and made faces here. Okay, so the activity is you're going to give these cutouts of the different emotions to your client or the youth that you're working with, and you're going to get them to identify the emotion, and then you're going to give them a scenario. So I'm going to demonstrate this for you. Okay. Okay. So scenario, Mackenzie. John gets to play with his favorite toy. What do you think he's feeling?
I think he's happy.
Good, good. Now, John's friend Betty won't let him play with her. How do you think he feels?
Sad.
Okay. What about angry? Do you think he'd be angry?
Yeah, he might be a little angry.
Okay. And John pees his pants.
Oh, I think he might be really embarrassed about that.
Yeah.
He might be sad too.
Now, John misses his mom. How do you think he feels?
I think he might be sad.
Yeah.
Doesn't get to see his mom.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. So, the effectiveness of this is that it helps children recognize and understand emotions through, like the discussion we had, and through visuals, so that the faces on the paper plates or cutouts. And a resource would be like a preschool, such as KinderCare. So now, Shannon will talk about her activity.
So the activity that I'm doing today is called Bringing In, and it is when a child acts out in an aggressive way, rather than putting them in a timeout and letting them think about it themselves, you take the child to the side and directly speak to them about what has been occurring. So it gives a chance for the children to understand the emotions and why they behaved the way that they did. So we have a scenario here with Sarah, and she had been being aggressive with some other children at the time, and she hit another boy. So rather than her sitting alone, we're going to have a discussion about it and allow her to understand the reasoning behind she did what she did. So Sarah, I understand that you punched Jacob earlier. Why did that occur?
Because he took my toy.
Is that a very important toy to you?
Yeah, it's my favorite truck.
And you didn't feel comfortable sharing with Jacob that toy?
I don't like when people touch my truck.
How do you think it made Jacob feel when you punched him?
Well, he started crying, so upset.
Do you think maybe if you had talked to Jacob about how you didn't want him to touch your toy rather than hitting him, it may have worked out a bit better?
Yeah, but it made me angry.
Okay, so how's another way that you could work through the anger rather than hitting someone? Maybe come and talk to me instead, or draw your emotions out or on a piece of paper?
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, okay. So from now on, we're going to try to be a little more verbal rather than hit some people.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
No problem. And the effectiveness of this activity is that children get the opportunity to look at the emotions that they used in that moment rather than waiting hours later to try to bring up the same event, and the children probably won't remember at that point. This can be used for reactive and proactive anger because it can happen in any scenario as long as the children are aware of why they did it and how to avoid it the next time. Some resources available for this type of anger and activity would be Kinark, and they have some programs for anger management. And now Mackenzie is going to do her activity.
So the activity that I decided to do was called the chair activity, and this can be used for an age group from 9 to 10, and it helps them become more aware in how to communicate their emotions. So this activity would be used when a child may be frustrated or having conflict with someone else. They may have gotten in a fight with a friend and they don't know how to react. So what you do is the materials used are 3 chairs. The client will sit in one chair and the chair across from them will be empty, and then the counselor will be sitting there and just observing what's going on. And Jess is going to help explain it. Okay, so today I want you to express how you were feeling when you were upset with your friend.
I was really hurt that you ditched me the other day. Well, like I called you, but you didn't answer. That's because I wasn't at you. Oh, I didn't think that it would bother you as much as it is. Well, yeah, it did. And, you know, maybe next time, like, tell me a few days in advance, okay? Okay, I understand where you're coming from, but you also have to understand that, like, I have other stuff to do, too. Okay, yeah, I understand.
So, how does this make you feel? You don't have your friend in front of you that you're upset with. Did you find that helped you get feelings out that you might not be able to say to their face?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I can really, like, put myself in their shoes, so to speak.
And see how they might react to the way that you're reacting.
Mm-hmm.
So it might help you become a little bit more comfortable with everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I find this really effective, especially during this age group, because ages 9 to 10 might not think about how other kids are feeling, and they get the opportunity to understand how others are feeling and their emotions, and it gives them a chance to let out anger in a positive way. A good resource was Big Brothers and Sisters. Having a one-on-one time with a big brother or big sister can help them see different points of view. It would help a child gain confidence, learn different skills, and develop an enhanced capacity to care for others, and it helps them seek someone else's point of view. So next is Sarah, and she's going to talk about journaling.
Okay, so the activity I chose is journaling. My age group is over 12 years of age, and at this age I find that they kind of like their personal life more private, and they have troubles maybe talking to their parents or close friends. So I think journaling is a very effective way because they can write it out. So now I'm going to do, so the purpose of this activity is to assist children in letting out their emotions like through their writing, and the materials used would be like a journal book or a piece of paper and a writing utensil. So now I'm going to do the activity with Shannon here. Okay, Shannon. So you had an aggressive situation where you felt angry or upset. Can you explain that, what you wrote in your journal?
So my mom had got attacked by a bear recently, and not even 24 hours after, there was endless amounts of news reporters coming up and calling constantly through the day, and they had no respect for my mom. They treated her like she was just a news report, not an individual. They had no respect for what she'd gone through. They just were completely unaware of how traumatic it all could be. And no matter what we did, they did not care how we felt. They had no respect. And it made me really, really angry.
That sounds really frustrating. So you wrote here like an angry letter to them. So this is a good idea because it helps children like get out their emotions, and they can write like and out their aggressions because they can write out like angry letters, but it's also for them, and they don't give it out to them because they don't want to like hurt other people's feelings. So this activity could be both reactive aggression and proactive aggression, because you can write about an angry situation, and you can also write like a proactive situation that's like more sneaky or like and then they can write about like how they're feeling at that moment, or they can write an angry letter to someone else. So journaling is an effective activity for ages like 12 and over, because young adults at this age tend to hold their emotions in, or they let their emotions out in a negative way by hurting other people's feelings. So this way they can let it out by writing, or by keeping it inside. They can write in like it's only for them. And a resource I found is the John Howard Society in Peterborough. It's a 10-week program, and the sessions are 2.5 hours long. And the program helps to develop and resolve their anger effectively in a positive way. And this program is like just for youth. So that's the end of my activity, and now I'll give it over to Mackenzie to close.
So after listening to everyone's activities, we feel that we agree as a group that these approaches will help direct children and youth in a positive way, and it will help them identify potential triggers.
This approach enables children with a skill that will carry with them lifelong and helps create a more positive attitude and milieu for the children.
Thank you for your undivided attention. We appreciate it.